So right here I have to make a radio announcement because we're about to enter an active runway. So I'm just going to push the button on the front of this control stick and make a broadcast.
Edenvale traffic, SportStar India Juliet Kilo Yankees, backtracking 08 to backtrack 13.
That's your radio?
Yep. Yeah, that's our transmit button on the front here.
Edenvale traffic, and Delta Tango 7150, taxiing on runway 26, hold short of 13.
What's our speed?
Our speed right now is not even registering because we're on the ground.
Oh, okay.
There's not enough air pressure going into that tube to register speed. Alright, gotta make another announcement here.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankees, backtracking 13.
So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take the plane off, I'm gonna get us away from the airport, and then show you how to control this thing, okay?
Okay.
I just want to get us away from the vicinity of other planes flying and landing and stuff like that.
So you're steering with your feet?
Correct. Yeah, all the ground handling is done with the feet. That's controlling the little nose wheel on the front. So as I'm pushing my right leg down, it's turning the wheel right, and then now it's going left. So it takes some getting used to. I find it takes people a good 4 hours of training to get their brain used to that, those weird inputs. All right.
So right foot kind of right, left foot kind of left?
That's right. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I gotta get this stick ready and up here, and I'm gonna take the plane off. Just try not to hold on or grab the stick too hard, because I gotta have freedom of mobility depending on the turbulence we're gonna face on the way up.
Like this better than the yoke?
I prefer that. Most pilots do. Like, this is a lot of fun flying a stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to accelerate full power. We'll climb out to about 2,000 feet above sea level, which will be 1,300 feet over the ground. We'll veer away from here, maybe go towards Wasaga Beach, and then I'll show you how to control this thing.
All right.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee is on the roll 13 with a left turn out towards Wasaga Beach, climbing to 2,000.
I've gone full power with that throttle. I pushed it in.
Edenvale traffic, and Delta Tango, taxiing to position on 13.
Just holding that nose of the plane up, and we're off the ground.
That was fast.
Yeah, being that these are such light aircraft, they're very agile.
That means you can land in a short...
That's true. Which makes the safety factor that much greater as well from some other planes. Right now, just a little bit of wind pushing us around. I'm just correcting for all those little drifts of wind. So what I'm watching when I'm doing a climb is I'm watching this. This is our airspeed. I want this plane to climb out anywhere between 60 and 65 knots. I control that by how hard I pull or push on the stick. If I want the plane to speed up, I just don't climb as fast, I do that. And you'll notice the speed will start increasing. I want to slow the climb down so it's more efficient.
Edenvale traffic, got a 172, 5 miles to the east, descending through 2,500. We're going to be getting a left base for 13 Edenvale. Edenvale traffic, unit Delta Tango on the takeoff roll 13, right turn out to the south.
I'm going to make one more radio announcement because there's a guy coming in this way and I don't want to have a conflict with him.
And Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee is airborne up of 13 with a left turn out towards Wasaga Beach, climbing to 2,000 and looking for the traffic 5 miles east.
Approaching altitude.
Alright, so there's 2,000 feet above sea level, which is roughly 1,300 feet over the ground. What I'm doing is I'm reducing my throttle now because we don't need to climb anymore. Still looking for that other plane because he's flying in this direction. So we should be actually away from the conflict zone with him now.
Must be small to see.
They're very tough to see. That's one of the hardest jobs I find as a pilot is finding and identifying other aircraft and staying away from them. So far right now, since the sun is hiding under the clouds, the air is relatively smooth. You'll notice as we go into the area where you see the sun shining through, we're going to feel a little bit of turbulence start.
Edenvale traffic, uniform Delta Tango airborne off 13, right turn out, heading to the south.
I'm sure you're very familiar with this area.
Very familiar.
Any particular direction you're going to want to fly to or check things out from up here? We got an hour, so we can go quite a ways.
How about Orr Lake?
Absolutely, that's easy to get to.
Edenvale traffic, Delta Q X-ray is entering a left base for 13, be a full stop.
So I'm just going to switch frequencies here to listen to a different area.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee departing your zone to the north, 2,000 feet.
Alright, so I'm going to start showing you how to control this thing. So I would recommend you actually put your left hand on the control stick, because if you want to be a pilot, you have to be able to control the throttle, switches, write things down, stuff like that. So with your left hand on the stick, I'm going to walk you through what it's like to do a right turn. We're just going to take this control stick and we're just going to move it like this to the right, and you'll notice the wings start banking. It was just a little push. See how it's getting steeper and steeper, right? Now to correct that, we're just going to bring it back. A little bit of turbulence because that sun's coming out. Now we're back to level flying. Now we're going to try turning to the left. So it's just going to be a little pull like that.
It's a small pull.
That's right.
Bravo traffic, uniform Bravo Bravo, turning downwind, runway 13, stop and go.
Very similar to when you're in your car on the highway. The faster you go, the smaller movements you do on the wheel. Since we're moving pretty fast, these control movements are really slow. I'll correct that now, get us back to level. See how small these movements are we're doing.
Right.
So now if we want to take the plane and start climbing, what we want to do is pull the stick sort of towards our belly. So we're just going to pull back like that. You'll see the nose come up. As it's going up, we get confirmation that we're in a climb because we see this climbing. Another thing that happens, our airspeed starts getting very slow. So that's when the pilot decides how high they want to climb. If they want to get there fast, you add more power. So what I want to do is I don't want to go ever any slower than 60. I'm going to start adding some power.
Calling with traffic.
No different than driving up a hill in your car. You have to put your foot on the gas pedal.
Of the field. IFR approach, and at minimum altitude we will turn to fly a low downwind for runway 13. Correction, we'll fly through to the...
Okay, you can talk over them. They don't hear us.
Oh, okay. So when you're adding more fuel,
Yeah.
you push that button in?
I could do that, or you know what I normally do is just turn this. Adding more power like that, or taking it away.
Oh, so I see that's twisting it out, twisting it
That's
in.
right. This is just a micro way of adjusting it, which is much nicer for the pilot.
Right.
For takeoff, you want power very fast, so you go real quick.
And you have to push the button into
That's right. You have to unlock it, and then now when it's unlocked, you can do this.
the lock. Okay.
Yeah. They call this type of controller a vernier throttle. That's just the guy who invented it that can do two functions at once. The older style planes is just a stick in and out, which is, yeah, it's caveman style. There's nothing wrong with it.
Is that like similar to having a trim?
Trim's a bit different. Trim is located on our stick here.
Okay.
So we have an up and a down button.
of 13, and
That-
continuing to the southwest.
If you take your hand, we'll both take our hand off the control stick and we see if the plane climbs. It's starting a bit of a climb. I can see it going up, so I'm going to go like this and just tap the down button once.
This one here?
Yeah, I just hit it there.
Yep.
Now it brought the nose down, so that's the trim.
Okay.
The older style planes will have an analog wheel,
Yeah.
where you move the wheel, or there'll be a little lever here for trim. This one's advanced, so it has the electronic trim. So I just did it, now it's flying very level on its own.
Yeah, perfect.
Yep. So, I would say there's 4 instruments we use a lot for flight training. This one right here is our speed. This is our altimeter telling us how high above the ground we are, how high above the sea we are, sea level. This one here tells us if we're in a climb or a descent before this one does. So when that needle's on the 0, we're pretty level. It's almost next to impossible to always have it on the 0. So we just use these as references. If you see it pointing at the 5, then put the nose down a little bit, right? Right now it's going to start descending. Now it's telling us we're in a descent, so I'm going to pull it back just a touch. I'm not going to chase it because our flight will end up being like this. Very, very choppy. So we don't want to overreact. And the 4th one here is called a turn coordinator. The turn coordinator tells us what our tail is doing. Because we're not tied to the ground through friction, the plane could be flying sideways. It could be drifting in the wind, stuff like that. Right now, our tail is pretty straight because the ball is almost in the center of those 2 little marks. If I start pushing on my left pedal, watch what happens with the ball. The ball's now crooked. We're still flying level, but the tail is skidding. It's out on the right side now. So what the pilot has to do is you step on the side of the ball to straighten it, right there. And you just kind of balance until you find that sweet spot. Now this plane is very, very forgiving for the tail. It likes to fly straight without even using the pedals.
Oh, okay.
Some aircraft, you have to be very cognizant on your rudders all the time. So I'm going to turn over controls to you and let you get used to feeling the control stick. Feel free to start moving it around, play around with it.
Should I have my feet on the pedals?
You could, yeah, go ahead.
But don't press on them.
You probably won't need to.
I'll just hold them.
Yeah, it's good to get used to the position you should be in. So, all right, so just feel free to turn the aircraft around. I'll look for other airplanes.
Okay, so to turn, I'm just leaning over a little.
Yep.
And if I want to stop, I can just bring it back.
That's right. Our front camera malfunctioned. Very nice.
Very small movement.
That's right. Just very, very gentle, gentle movements.
Calling with traffic, Alfa Romeo Tango is rolling on 13 for easterly departure.
Calling with traffic, Uniform Bravo Bravo, turning downwind runway 13, full stop.
How far is it to Victoria Harbour?
Victoria Harbour is going to be off our right wing in that direction, so you can make it turn that way.
Okay.
We can cover a lot of ground in 1 hour in an airplane, so...
Yeah.
Like I said, the purpose of this flight is just to get you comfortable with the movements of an aircraft. Kind of skimming the bottom of these clouds, that looks kind of cool.
Very minimal movement.
That's right.
Leaving altitude.
So the only reason why the computer spoke to you there is I put a little blue indicator at 2,500 feet. If we leave that area by 100 feet, she will remind you.
Okay.
Now right now we're 100 feet higher, so I can move that indicator up to 2,600. You're in a slight climb, so don't be afraid to push the nose forward just a touch. There you go. That's level.
Calling with traffic, Uniform Bravo Bravo.
So we're watching for planes?
13, full stop.
I am.
Amazing how just little tiny movement.
Calling with traffic, Alfa Romeo
Right.
Tango is clear of the circuit and headed east. Calling with.
So if we kind of go straight in this direction, that should put us on course to like the Victoria Harbour.
Okay.
This bay right there you see, that's Penetanguishene. The next bay to the right is Midland.
Calling with traffic, uniform Bravo, Bravo, turning final from runway 13, full stop.
Leaving altitude.
Even a little touch.
That's right.
It's amazing.
It's because we are traveling so fast. That's why that motion is so small.
It's easy to overcorrect.
It is. Hence, that's why we do training, right? We do it until it gets to a point where it's a muscle memory.
Yeah.
And you can do it without even thinking about it. So that's why it's hard for somebody to really say how many hours will it take for a certain person to pick up the skill, because it's no different than asking the question, how long is it going to take me till I'm really good at golf?
Right, right.
Some people could be great 3 times. And some people are just not meant to be pilots.
Yeah.
Flat out, right? But usually an instructor can tell you that within 3 to 5 hours of training. It's not that you can't be pilots, but you might be ready to spend some more money. A bad flight school will never tell you that. They'll just BS you and say, oh, you're doing great, don't worry.
Bravo, Bravo, back turn from runway 13.
I try to be as honest as I can with people, especially when we get into the more intricate facets of doing exercises up in the air, certain procedures. And if people are having a hard time, I try to let them know as early as possible.
So it's funny because I'm turning.
Yeah.
But it's like, I didn't even think I was turning.
Well, that, all right.
It's almost like
Did you
I'm
want
just,
to turn?
Not really, I was trying to straighten up. But I think I'm overcompensating.
Don't be afraid to give it quick pushes if you have to.
Oh, okay.
Because when it starts getting turbulent, which it will, because that sun's starting to peek through,
Yeah.
you got to be ready to really slam that thing around.
Oh, I see. So you do have a little more
Oh, yeah.
control. So you don't just have to keep slow moving.
No. Now, this thing's not delicate. It's robust. It can handle it. So this is coming up over top of Midland. I'm sure you recognize these places.
Yeah, the marina.
I'm in Fox Sierra, X-ray Lima, 10 miles west, 3,000 feet. I'll be doing a simulated RNAV approach, 13, Collingwood. Collingwood traffic, this is Cessna 172, Golf Uniform Mike. Currently 1 nautical mile east of Stayner, 2,700 feet, inbound for landing, planning to be overhead and join mid-left downwind for runway 13.
So I think the reason why you're lurching up is because you're climbing.
Oh, so
So
bring
push
it
the
down.
nose forward. You shouldn't have to struggle to look over the dash, or that means you're climbing.
Okay.
So right around here is that sweet spot. There's your level. And we know by looking at this.
Oh, right. I wasn't looking at it.
Yeah, we climbed up a good 400 feet there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
Probably because I'm leaning over.
exactly. You're compensating for the plane, right?
Yeah. Make the plane do the work.
That's right.
So if I want to go down a bit, I push forward.
Yeah, you just push forward a little bit.
Then I can see more.
That's true.
Collingwood traffic, this is Golf Uniform Mike, currently over Stayner 2,500. We are planning to join straight in, left downwind for 13. Any conflicts, please advise Golf Uniform Mike.
Now, is the film filming forward?
Sorry?
Where are we filming?
We're filming, yeah, from behind facing this way.
Okay. So this is just turbulence?
It is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow down the throttle because you're descending relatively quick.
Okay.
And I don't want to get this plane going too fast into turbulence. There we go. That's Victoria Harbor right over here.
I have a property for sale there.
That's a nice spot. I have one friend of mine who's a real estate agent in the Bradford area.
Oh yeah.
And when he's selling more like acreage type properties, he will give either the husband or the wife an introductory flight with me so I can take them up and show them the property.
Oh, nice.
And they love it. He said he only does it with the serious buyers, the ones who, none of these tire kickers, right?
Right.
When it just needs that extra little thing to seal the deal.
Right. Oh, I can see it from here.
Nice.
I'll tell them I took a picture and I'll send it to the new buyer.
There you go.
With traffic, Diamond Fox.
Well, if you have your, oh, you didn't,
5 miles straight
you shut your phone off, right?
300.
Yep.
We'll be landing full stop. Collingwood. Collingwood traffic, Golf Uniform Mike, established left downwind 13, full stop. Traffic on final, how long will you be? Sierra X-ray Lima, we're about 3 minutes to touchdown. And you're using 13, right? Yeah, we're straight in for 13, 3 minutes out. Roger, so we are on downwind, we'll extend our downwind for you. Okay, great, thanks, we'll be looking for you.
So that's Lake Kuchiching or?
That should be the top end of Simcoe. Kuchiching will be right in front of us.
Okay.
You can almost see it looks like a river from here. It's a little blue slice, and we're still far away from it.
Yeah.
Leaving altitude.
So I bring my nose up a bit.
Collingwood traffic, Sierra X-ray Lima, 3 miles, final for 13, full stop, Collingwood.
Altitude.
Yeah, that sun's coming out now. So what I can do is I can put this sunshade down a little bit so we're not getting cooked. That helps a little bit.
X-ray Lima, we've got the other Collingwood landing traffic in sight. Roger that, we have you in sight too.
Yeah, a lot of pilots will use flying as like a stress relief, sort of like a meditation.
There's a plane.
Oh wow, yeah, underneath us. Good eye.
Traffic, Foxtrot Hotel, Echo Kilo is holding short of 13.
What kind of plane is that?
That looks like,
Not a Piper, is it?
I don't think so. Oh, it could be a Cub, yeah. But it has floats. So he's gonna go land on the water somewhere.
Yeah. Is that Orr Lake over there, right?
Orr Lake is right over there, yeah.
All right. That's, I have a cottage on Orr Lake.
Nice.
So I guess we'll go over to Orr Lake.
On the north end or south?
I'm on the Highway 93 side.
Okay.
I guess it's more the southeast.
Okay. I got an older friend there on the lake there. He's on the north side, right at the end of the road there.
Oh, yeah.
Good old George.
Yeah.
Leaving altitude.
The guy's a pilot, aviator, and a pilot plane builder.
Oh, yeah.
Approaching altitude.
He used to have his float plane on that lake. I think he's just got a little too old to fly it.
Yeah, there's usually a couple planes.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the guys from Edenvale do their water training there.
Oh,
Landing on there.
I know that.
calling with traffic, Golf Info Mike, turning extended left base for 13, full stop.
That's a nice lake.
Yeah, it's shallow, so you can swim
Yeah.
May to October.
Midland traffic, Golf Julia Yankee at 1600. Currently 4 miles to the northeast of the airport. We're running south to Craighurst, Hillsdale next.
Leaving altitude.
Tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's what we train for. You train until it just becomes simple. Usually the first 3 hours of flying is similar to what we're doing now.
Yeah.
I just give you targets to
Approaching
follow.
altitude.
Like in an official lesson, I'll say, today focus on holding this altitude, and we're just going to fly all around, but hold this altitude.
Okay.
And then the next lesson is we're going to practice on doing more sharper turns while holding altitude.
Okay.
There's another airplane up there.
Yeah.
Final 1.
I'm gonna come around the back and come towards
Yeah.
my cottage.
Leaving altitude.
So I'm fine at 2700 or?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we see them all the time practicing their floats.
Yeah.
I love it, really. I watch for them.
Yeah.
My brother has taken me up from there.
Oh, he's got a float plane.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
he's got both.
Nice.
Puts the floats on.
Yeah, yeah.
Got a cottage up in Wawa.
Yeah.
So are you keeping our speed up
I'm just
or down?
I'm just in the habit of always holding the throttle
Okay.
because I'm always ready to adjust it. Right now, I'm just keeping it at a certain RPM. If I notice our airspeed dropping, I'll add a little bit of power.
Right. And adding power is turning to the right?
To the right. Think of like a volume dial on a big stereo. When you turn it to the right, it brings the volume up, or even in your car. You turn it to the right, it's adding.
Yeah.
Leaving altitude.
So keeping that speed is fine?
Oh yeah. As long as we're faster than 60 knots,
Yeah.
nothing's going to happen to us. Once we start getting below 60, we're in an area where we call slow flight, which you have to be very vigilant.
Yeah.
And if you get in the 40s, you're going to stall the aircraft. So it's just going to stop flying.
Yeah. Not a good idea.
No. Now we do train for that, but we do that usually at hour 15 of training. When you're really comfortable with the machine, when you're working the throttles, you really know how the machine flies, then we start getting into how to stall it, how to recover from a stall.
What height do you stall from?
We have to do it at a minimum of 2,000 feet above the ground.
Okay.
So here I'd go up to 3,000 feet, which we're at now.
So when I'm going into a turn, are we trying to,
Mike, backtracking 13.
Go ahead.
when we're going into a turn, do I want more speed or less speed?
It all depends. Like if you're in a very sharp turn, you want more speed. But so far, any turn you've done is just so gradual in
Yeah.
general.
The more comfortable you get, the more you can play with
Exactly.
it, right?
Yep.
Have fun with it.
Yep.
Trying to go around so I can come
Yeah, for
right
sure.
across towards my cottage.
It's your hour. You can do whatever you want with it. I'm here to make sure you survive.
Oh, that's a good thing. I guess every plane is a little bit different.
Of course. Now, the basic principles are all the same. No different than any car is a bit different, right?
Yeah.
Try driving a Ferrari versus a Chevette.
Yeah.
They're a big difference. But you'll figure both of them out if you have the basic fundamentals.
And I think too, if you're used to driving standard, it helps.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Because
for sure.
You're always managing.
Yeah. Micromanaging different limbs and stuff.
I
Yeah.
used to have my phone, have my coffee, have my wheel with my knee,
Yeah,
and shift.
absolutely.
Approaching altitude.
I love watching the planes fly over. And
Yeah.
now I'm flying over.
That's amazing. I'm glad we could finally get you up in the air today.
Yeah. I've been so busy.
That's a good thing. There's actually a plane flying over the east side of Orr Lake right now, but he's really low.
Okay, so we'll stay high.
He's a white one over there, and he's going south. Yeah, there's so many aircraft in this area.
Yeah, it's a popular spot.
Yep.
Calling with traffic, Fox Papa Tango is in a right turnout off of 13. We're climbing 4500 and clearing to the south.
The other trend I've noticed a lot in the past 2 years is there's a lot more female pilots I'm hearing.
Yeah?
So like even for instance, we just heard one on the radio there.
Yeah.
I have two female students right now,
Yeah.
which is nice to see. I can never understand why men dominate the aviation industry when it's not a, you know, this is just a, I don't know, it's not one of those things where it doesn't require
Leaving altitude.
any of the assets of a man.
So we're just flying right over my cottage.
Oh, cool.
It's off the highway a bit. And it's well treed.
Calling a traffic, 7840 Foxtrot, November Echo Charlie is 8 miles to the south of the field,
There
over
it
3
is.
more, 2,000 feet inbound to cross
Isn't
over
that
and
neat,
then
huh?
downwind.
Little green one. Hey, cottage. My dock that I built.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring it down a bit.
Sure, you're climbing again.
Yeah.
So now we're at 3,000 feet.
just
Just
gonna
push the
push
nose.
down.
Yeah, just push the nose down. Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah.
Now we're getting off pretty easy today.
Yeah.
Some days you have to be extremely violent on that control stick.
Okay, because of the wind.
Well, the winds or the thermals.
Okay.
Oh, that's annoying. I gotta silence that.
Approaching altitude.
I can level off a bit.
Sure.
With traffic, Golf Oscar Alpha Mike, level 3,000 feet, 5 miles to the north of Lake Eugenia, inbound for Collingwood.
That's not anywhere near us.
No, well, 5 miles north, inbound to Collingwood. So yeah.
Eugenia's way over
Yep.
there. So. I
Okay.
just happen to know because
Oh yeah, no,
I've appraised everywhere.
I know where the lake is. Yeah, that's near
Yeah.
the Beaver Valley.
Yeah. So it's okay to lean on these
Pedals?
pedals?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to see what they do, go ahead and push one of them down. Watch what happens with the plane. See that?
Oh, it just turns it.
You're steering the tail. You're pushing the nose left right now.
Okay.
And if you try doing the right one, see what happens. Now you're pulling the tail this way.
Okay. Instead of using the stick.
It's controlling a different axis of the aircraft than the stick does.
Okay.
The stick controls what we call roll,
Leaving
like this.
altitude.
Okay.
The tail controls what we call yaw.
Okay.
Yawing is when you're doing this, side to side, like slip,
Oh,
slip,
okay.
slip, slip. So you can make them work in unison. That's why we have the pedals.
Yeah.
where you can make a real tight turn by using both.
Oh, I see, okay.
And keeping the tail nice and straight in the turn. It's what it's sort of doing. You ever see how like they have car racetracks and they put it's banked up on an angle?
Yeah,
That's so the G-force remains straight down when they turn.
yeah.
In an aircraft,
Approaching altitude.
we obviously don't have a ramp to turn on.
Yeah.
So whenever we start a turn, the tail can start sliding like you're fishtailing a car in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So we can use the rudder to pull that tail in and sort of create that bank angle for the plane like it has on a racetrack.
Okay.
So that way we keep our gravity straight down and not to the side.
Okay.
Leaving altitude. Approaching altitude.
So we're now coming up close to Orillia. Orillia is just right there. One thing I want to try to avoid is over here is a very busy airport, Lake Simcoe Regional, so we'll stay away from that.
Okay. I'll head up to Orillia.
Lake Simcoe traffic, Orillia Yankees at 2,000. 5 miles to the west of the field. We're going to cross overhead and join a mid-rate downwind for 10.
What's that little lake?
I know the name of this.
Barrow?
No, Sparrow's further to the north. The little lake is Barry.
Yeah.
This is... let me see if I have it on the map.
Oh, Bass Lake.
Bass.
That's right. That's my old cottage.
There you go.
We grew up on this cottage, or on this lake. I should know Bass Lake, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, I should know Bass Lake too. I got a cottage in Orillia, but
Yeah.
sometimes the names just escape you, right?
Yeah.
The 180 uniform flight to the south to the north region.
I always loved Bass Lake. I thought I would have a cottage there, but they had zebra mussels, so I ended up buying on Orr Lake. But it's a beautiful lake too.
It is.
San Point Barrel traffic, Charlie gets south 4,000 feet over the Prairie Islands. This is San.
We're tending to get buffeted by the winds a little bit.
Lake Simcoe traffic,
Actually,
Yankees.
what that is that's the thermals from the sun.
Oh, okay.
The sun's heating the ground, the hard ground.
Oh, and we're riding over it.
The hot air bubble is coming up and hitting the belly of the plane and shaking us.
Oh, okay.
That's why when we had that blanket of cloud, we had none of that.
I see.
Because it was acting like sunblock.
So better to,
Yeah, that's why this morning when you called me, I was like, no, this is perfect.
okay.
This is what we want. The worst type of flying is in a hot summer day when there's not a cloud in the sky.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's terrible. The plane's bouncing around everywhere, changing directions on you.
And you're just compensating with
You
this.
do, but it gets to the point where it can rattle the strongest of stomachs and your nerves too, because
yeah.
you're really correcting. Wow, we flew into some kind of insect.
As long as it's not a pelican.
Yeah, exactly.
Lake Simcoe traffic.
What we'll do is when we get to here, we'll just kind of turn back in the area, head back towards that direction.
Okay.
We're quite a ways out here now. Yeah, see, as that sun's getting brighter,
Yeah.
starting to wreak havoc on us.
Anytime you need to take over, you just...
Oh, I don't need to take over at all.
Oh,
You're capable of doing this. You're doing very well.
Lake Simcoe traffic, Golf Juliet Yankees entering the mid-right downwind for 10, full stop.
going over my old cottage.
Yeah.
Leaving
It's too bad
altitude.
that the zebra mussels got into here. Must have been some guy with his boat.
Yep, boat built.
Yep. Now, the zebra mussels have really, like, I have a cottage in the Narrows there in Orillia,
Yeah,
and it was really bad 10 years ago.
yeah.
But now I think they're dying off.
Yeah, I think
Because
there's...
the weeds are coming back now.
Yeah. No, something started to eat them, I think.
Huh.
Where they, ate themselves out of
Good.
their own
Yeah, they choked.
existence.
The ecosystem is destroyed.
Yeah.
Lake Simcoe traffic, Golf Juliet Yankees turning final 10, full stop.
Still love that cottage.
Yeah.
That's the old Langman, like a conservation area.
Yeah. This area is nice. It really is nice.
Yeah, I love Orillia.
And I like how it didn't sprout out too big yet. Like, it still kept it sort of small towny.
The story about Orillia is that they wouldn't go wet years and years ago. So Barry flourished. They got booze,
Ah, yeah.
and Orillia didn't.
Oh, yeah.
So that was one of the reasons. My grandmother lived there in the 30s, and they lived beside the Lightfoots. And my grandmother knew Stephen Leacock, and my dad knew his son,
Yeah.
growing up in the 30s and 40s. A lot of connection with Orillia.
Nice.
Now those hills over there, is that
That's Mount St. Louis. Yep. We're going to want to head on a direction like
over
this.
here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, let me see what's below us here.
Lake Simcoe
So
traffic,
Old
Golf
Berry
Juliet
Road is over here,
10
running that way.
on
Yeah.
Delta.
Right off to our right here is Horseshoe Valley Road. So if we follow the next road over, so
Yep.
we're going to go to the right side of the water tower there.
Okay.
Then we'll catch Horseshoe Valley Road and we just follow that straight towards Edenvale.
All right. Now what are we flying over here?
This is a new development
Oh,
close to
okay.
Horseshoe Valley here.
Oh, that's Moonstone, maybe.
Is that what it's called?
Might be, yeah.
So the controls getting more comfortable to you now?
Yeah.
Good.
A lot more comfortable.
Yeah, it just takes time, right?
Yeah, to know what you're feeling.
It's always a hard sell for me whenever people call me and they go, I want to see what it's like to fly a plane for 20 minutes. And I said, well, what are your plans? Do you plan on, oh, I might want to get into being a pilot. I said, please, it's not me trying to upsell you, but take an hour.
Oh, yeah.
To just take an hour. 20 minutes, you're not going to learn much.
Well, there's those $40 20-minute things,
Yeah.
you know, and you
Altitude.
barely get up, you're
Yep.
going down.
Approaching altitude.
And the way I
Leaving
separate
altitude.
myself from the other guy that's operating a flight school at Edenvale Berry Flying Club is when I
Approaching
sell you an hour,
altitude.
you get an hour.
Yeah.
I know
Julia Yankee, it's Unicom. Are you just dropping your passenger off?
Yeah, we're going to make
Oh,
a
he's
stop.
talking to
I'll
him.
get it.
the other guy
get it
there, he
behind
starts
you.
his clock when you
Got it.
shake his hand.
Really?
You're gonna
So
take
the
position
walk
next to
around,
that,
you're paying for all that in your hour.
If you like to,
So if you take 15, 20 minutes to do a walk around,
I'm going to have a hurt coming in.
you're only getting 40 minutes in
What's
the
that?
air, if
They're,
that.
they're just trying to spend
Oh,
less
in the next
gas
60
and make
minutes.
more money.
Yep.
Sorry,
Like I understand what they're doing.
60.
Everybody's going to try to do that, but
wait around. No problem. We'll just take.
I decided to do this full time to be the, I like to brag, to be the flight school that's giving you the quality.
Yeah.
And we'll be out of your way.
So
Okay,
yeah,
great. Thanks so much.
you're gonna,
Or I should say yaw.
huh?
Yaw, man.
Yeah,
Yaw. I'll roll with that.
that's right.
I live for puns. So this is Horseshoe Valley Road, I think.
That it is. There's the ski hills right in front of us there.
Oh, right, Snow Valley. Oh, no, Horseshoe,
Horseshoe,
Valley,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Plus another thing I try not to do with the flight school is high pressures.
Yeah,
I don't like to pressure anybody. The way I see it, if you want to fly again, you call me.
yeah,
I'm not going to be like them that calls you the week after. You want to fly again? You want to fly again?
yeah.
I'll wait till you call me. You tell me what day you want to do it. Then I say, this is what I have available on XYZ day.
Yeah, because it's kind of a budget thing anyways. Yeah.
Exactly, right? I can just tell you what it takes. Average people are taking 25 hours
Yeah,
to get a license in this category, which is
yeah,
advanced ultralight, meaning you can fly any two-seater like this.
right?
Any plane that has an I in the registration, you can fly.
Okay.
In Canada, daylight hours, anywhere you want to go.
So if you want to start learning to like fly a Cessna or something, That's different?
It's a different classification. So far in Canada, we're trying to change that right now.
yeah,
But you can take 10 of your hours from this and
Yeah.
transfer it towards your private pilot license.
okay,
So if you only do 10 here,
yeah,
that'll save you money from doing 10 at those schools because they charge you minimum $230 an hour,
right,
plus tax, plus this fee and that fee. And
right. Now what about the ground school?
the ground school that I do is for the Ultra. It's 20 hours in class, actually starting one on Tuesday.
Yeah,
The ground school you do for a private pilot is 40 hours.
okay,
The funny thing is, they're very darn similar.
yeah,
So, but unfortunately, you cannot use my ground school towards the private pilot.
right,
Now, they give me a certain syllabus I have to follow. However, I found I can never complete it in 20 hours. I end up spending 30 hours to do it
yeah,
because I just cannot get through the topics well enough that the student understands them.
right, right.
I can blow through a PowerPoint, but people just aren't picking it up. I want to make sure everybody from the bricklayer to the doctor walk out of that ground school and understand what the heck I'm talking about.
Right, right.
Because I know when I did my ground school years ago, I bullshitted my way through it.
Oh yeah,
Because there were certain topics you didn't understand, right?
yeah,
And you don't want to put your hand up and look stupid because everybody else gets it.
yeah. You're still going to be able to fly.
Exactly. But, you know, and
Right.
then I learned the hard way. I said, shit, I got to do some more reading on this. I got to figure this out.
Yeah,
So I want to try to eliminate that from any of my students. I want to make sure that they get it before we leave the class.
right, right.
It's not a dumb thing or anything like that. It's just about understanding the concept. We don't get too crazy technical. We do basics of navigation. So you'll learn how the world is divided up into longitude and latitude, how that works. Stuff we probably all learned in grade 5.
Yeah.
But it's to refresh the adult brain that we don't use that anymore,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, true.
There's a cool thing. I don't know if you see off to the side of the highway. Somebody planted trees years ago in the shape of the number 2000.
Oh, really?
If you do a turn to the left, you'll see it. Let's do a left turn here. They must have planted these, seeing the size of the trees, maybe in the 80s.
Yeah.
I'll just do a little turn to the left so you can see it.
Yeah.
So see the highway here? We got 2 lanes.
Yeah.
On the right side,
Yeah.
about a mile that way. So right down there.
So they did it in those high trees? Oh, I see, right there.
See that?
Oh, that's too funny.
Somebody had a sense of humor.
1,000.
That took some work.
Yeah.
And those are mature, like 40-foot tall trees.
Wow.
Might even be planted before the 80s. It's hard to tell.
Wow.
So we're just going to continue going this way.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's different categories of licenses, of course. A lot of people aren't aware of this style of flying, so they just go right to the PPL route, which costs private pilot license, which costs an average person $12,000.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the average cost. However, if somebody comes to a person like me first, you're learning how to fly at a much cheaper rate.
Yeah.
You're learning all the basics for only 180 an hour.
Yeah.
And 10 of those hours are transferable, so at the end of the day, if you want to do both, it's still a cheaper way to go because you're cutting your teeth at a cheaper rate.
Yeah, you're cutting 10 hours of the
That's right, of the heavy.
half price.
That's right. So that's why a guy like me exists in this airspace, in this space of the market.
And how much is ground school?
The ground school I do is $450. It's in class.
Yeah.
However, you can do them online for about $2.25.
Yeah.
It all depends on what type of learner you are. A lot of people like the in-class stuff because you can bounce questions back and forth to each other.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
But the 450 comes with, you know, basics. You know, you're going to get a plotter. You're going to get the stuff you need. The aviation map, the textbook.
I don't like to do it online.
Yeah. But I can understand the allure for the people who like it. It's nice to pull out an iPad on your couch with a coffee and just kind of watch a video. And
I like people.
I hear you. So we're heading right towards Edenvale right now.
Okay.
Directly in front of us. Hard to see. It's still about 11 miles away from us right now. That little town there is menacing.
I wonder what that is. It's like a huge pond.
Yeah, I've seen some retention ponds in this area.
Yeah, so Horseshoe ends at 26. And
Yep.
we go over there.
And that's right in front of us.
Okay.
But we're on target perfectly for time too. So in order to land a plane, we can't just go and land at any runway we want. We want to pick the runway that's facing into the wind.
Yeah.
Now odds are it's going to still be runway 13 because the wind's coming this way right now. I can feel it blowing us.
Yeah.
So most likely on the ground, the wind's still going that way. So we're going to want to land this way.
Yeah.
In order to do that, we have to enter a procedure called the circuit.
Yeah.
Approaching
The
altitude.
circuit is an imaginary rectangle that exists above all airports.
Yeah.
It's 1,000 feet above the ground. So at this airport, the circuit is to be flown at 1,700 feet
Yeah.
because our ground level is 700. And we have to enter it in a certain procedure. So that's part of learning to be a pilot.
Yeah.
In the case of where we're coming from now, we're going to have to go a little bit further south.
Okay.
And we're going to have to kind of swoop in towards the airport
Yeah.
with the runway off to our left shoulder parallel to it.
Yeah.
What it looks like, I have a little diagram here. It looks like that.
Yeah.
So there's the runway.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the runway in the position that we're coming at it on.
Okay.
So we're going to have to come out here, fly in and enter this, what we call the downwind,
Altitude.
turn base, and then final approach.
Okay.
So we're going to go that way.
Okay.
And I don't expect anybody to learn this for about 6 hours of flying, because
Yeah.
it gets complex. There's so many ways to enter. What I'm doing is I'm just lowering the power a little bit. I'm going to make an announcement to the airport so other pilots know what we're doing.
Edenvale traffic, SportStar India Juliet Kilo Yankee is 4 miles east of the field, descending through 2,500 to circuit height, and we're going to join a straight in downwind 13.
So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the plane down to 1,700 feet. Just going to do it gently like that. Just let the nose hang like that. We don't want to be going too fast. You'll notice as the nose goes down, your airspeed will increase.
Yeah.
So we just don't want it going ridiculously fast.
So you're going to turn that?
I can reduce the throttle a bit. So even that our angle's fairly steep, our speed is still stable.
Yeah.
So this is what I would call a rapid descent. We're descending really fast. It's fine.
I'm going to pull up a little.
Yeah, sure. Like I said, as long as we don't go below 60, we're safe.
Okay.
So right around here, I'm going to add
Altitude.
power again. You're just going to level off. So just pull back on that stick to level the plane. Now we're going to do a right-hand turn here. We're going to fly right parallel with that long runway. So right off in that direction.
Okay. So you have to do a fair,
Okay, you're
decent
fine.
turn.
That's it. Perfect. A little bit more. See that water tower over there in the distance, the little white one?
Aim for that.
We're going to aim for that. And that's going to put us parallel with the runway to enter the downwind.
Okay.
And we're just going to pull back on that stick a little bit to keep us at 1,700 feet. I'm going to make a radio announcement here.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee, established left downwind 13, full stop. Learjet 126 Juliet X-ray. We're going to be landing about 15 minutes.
So right now that we're in the downwind, this is where the pilot inspects the runway. We get a chance to look at it, make sure it looks free and clear of any cars or people or animals.
Okay.
Looks good. We're going to be landing on that long runway. Another thing I want to do at this point is check all of my instruments, make sure everything is still green, and it is. Make sure that this is a landing we want to make versus a landing we have to make.
Right.
If anything was in the red line there, that would mean trouble, and that's a landing I have to make happen.
Okay. And why would it,
I'm sorry?
why would it start turning red or whatever?
Well, if we had an engine problem, anything like that. So it would just, it would make it a landing that you really want to concentrate on. Now, right now, the plane's in perfect shape, so if we have trouble getting it down, who cares? We just fly around again and do it again.
Okay.
But if it was red, I gotta plug through and make it happen. It is a machine, right? So something could go wrong. All right, so right around here, we're gonna do a left turn. We're gonna go right 90 degrees in that direction, sort of towards those orange roofs over there.
Okay.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankees, turning left base 13, full stop.
But just try not to let the plane descend. See how you're dropping?
Oh, I see.
That's it.
Okay.
So this is where it's gonna get quite busy on the controls.
Okay.
I'll try to let you control as much as you want on this, but I'm ready to grab it.
You.
So I'm going to take it from here because it's going to get kind of complex.
Yeah.
All right, so I have control.
Okay.
You did awesome. So I'm just going to slow the throttle down. I want to get the needle into the white area. That means it's safe for me to put my flaps on when it's there. There we go. So I'm going to reach down here, pull this lever. Flap number 1, flap number 2. It's letting the nose come down so we can descend at a slower airspeed and be safe. My job right now is to keep this plane at 65 knots. And I do that with the stick, not with the engine. If I want to speed up, I let the nose come down. If I want to slow down, I pull back. Right here, I'm doing a very gentle turn.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankees, turning final, 13, full stop.
So once again, the speed is controlled with the stick here. This controls our altitude. If I find we're sinking too fast, I add some power, like that. If I want to sink quicker, I just kill the power. So right now, the engine is not doing anything. We're just gliding down with the use of the stick. Just doing little tugs on that to keep that speed very consistent. A little bit of wind pushing us around. This is where I have to start using my rudders. Because notice the nose of the plane is kind of facing that way.
Yeah.
I have to straighten it out by pushing my left foot like that. And you want to make sure the wheels touch down nice and straight, so at the last minute you move your feet like this. Engine is off. Just gliding, flying, flying. Straighten out the nose a bit, and we're down, and I'm cutting through butterflies. Just like that. Ah, there's a lot of butterflies.
It was their time.
I think so. So how was that?
It was great.
Awesome.